Hey, good morning, church family. This is Chris coming to you with a couple requests, two requests that have to do with our Sunday morning worship and what we do when we gather. So it has become our custom to spend about the first 10, often 15 minutes in our worship service, sharing announcements and sharing prayer requests and praises. Not bad things at all, but from a pastoral perspective, I realized that I haven't been leading this well, because when we gather for worship, the intent of gathering is to worship and to pray and to hear the word of God and to read it together. So, and when you realize that we only have 1 hour together on Sunday morning, and that we're spending the first quarter of that hour sharing announcements and prayer requests and praises, I just feel like, I really do feel like as pastor, that we can be spending that time more intentionally. So that leads to the two requests that I have for you. When we open up the service, I'm going to be sharing one, maximum two announcements every Sunday, just highlighting them. Now we'll have more announcements printed in the bulletin. There are announcements on the slides cycling before and after service. There are announcements on our website. There are events on the website. We send out a weekly email. Lots of ways to get announcements in our church family, which is great. Here's the first request. I'm going to ask you, if you have an announcement that you would like to share with the church, email it to the church. I'll put the email address right in this video. Email it to the church, and we'll make sure that if it needs to be in the bulletin, it gets in the bulletin, in the email, on the website, even on these. We'll even make an announcement slide for it. But I'm not going to be asking for announcements from the floor anymore. So please, if you have an announcement that you'd like to share, send it via email or call the church, and we'll make sure it gets announced. We just want to spend our time on Sunday mornings a little bit more intentionally. The second request has to do with prayer. When we gather in person, I've mentioned this a couple of times, but I just haven't done a really good job leading it. So I do need your help with this. When we gather together on Sunday mornings, I'm going to ask each, if you're here in person, I'm going to ask you, and you have a prayer request or a praise that you'd like to share, grab one of these cards. They are at the door as you walk in this door, and they're at this entrance here. Write them down on here, and whether that's a prayer or a praise. And when the offering comes around, put it in the offering plate. When it's time for prayer, I'm going to grab the prayer requests from here and hold them, and together we're going to bring them to the Lord in prayer. But I'm not going to be asking for prayer requests from the floor anymore, and just so that we can focus on bringing these to the Lord and find other ways to share them. We'll find other ways to share them with the church, and that's what these are as well. Again, I actually hope that this encourages sharing more prayer requests together. So those are the changes, small changes, but I think it's going to help us focus our time together more where we ought to. So thanks so much. Looking forward to seeing you on Sunday.